Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Now, before anyone asks, no, I'm not going to make this a very long thing. It's just something very quick, something I wanted to go over. I have already reacted to the first Zootopia 2 trailer, so before anybody starts freaking out or anything, just know that there is a reason behind this, and we'll get to it once we get to the rest of it. Um, but this is something. Why is it not working? Oh my dear Jesus. I love it when YouTube doesn't work. I really do. Okay, there it is. Okay, cool. All right, so here we are. So the first things that we're going to watch is the two trailers that have released. We're not going to watch the teaser trailer. This is the first trailer that we received for Zootopia 2, and then the next one will be the last one. I have yet to react to the last one. This one's just a refresher. And then the last video will be somebody trying so hard to convince everyone else that Nick and Judy are going to be a couple because of the fact that Jared Bush has quote unquote confirmed it. And meanwhile, I'll explain why I believe that he's just full of crap. Anyway, we'll get there once we watch these two trailers, so let's begin.
Welcome to Partners in Crisis. I'm your therapy animal, Dr. Fuzzbee. Greg, we talked about that. What are we making Merlin? Uncomfortable. Yes. And Francine, Clark may be a mouse, but he is your partner first. And we have two new partners. Can you tell us about your journey to Dysfunction Junction?
Well, we've been official partners for 1 week. Happy anniversary. And we are functioning fine. Better than fine. And we did sort of save the city, so us being here kind of seems like a huge misunderstanding.
Notice how she answered first, did not allow her partner to speak, and taps her foot when she's suppressing discomfort. And observe the source of her discomfort, represented by the disconnected affectation of her emotionally insecure partner. But for now, we begin by greeting our teammate. Okay, unfortunately, Karen has chosen to see Joel's smile as a sign of aggression. Hackles down, Karen. Karen, hackles down. Someone get the hose.
This is a make or break assignment. Fail and I will split you up.
No snake has set foot in Zootopia in forever.
Hops and Wild?
Wild and hops. The dream team. Sorry, Paul.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Kiss the second ring right now. Stop in the name of the law. I'm really sorry.
No.
Stop pulling my ears. Stop pulling my ears. Never pull up on his ears. I have to help my family. Cannonball!
Poor Nick's getting the crap beat out of him on this one.
You know, this is not your worst idea.
Wow, that was almost a compliment.
Your worst idea is what you did with your ears.
Couldn't agree more, Nick. Couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. I honestly could not agree more with him on that one.
At the ZPD,
All right, now this is the second trailer.
Of success.
Carrots, beautiful.
You want to put bad guys away?
Ow! Stop pulling my ears. Stop pulling my ears. Never pull up on his ears.
Be on the same page every day.
Jiggle it, let's go. I got this. Here's the fuzz.
Toot.
Everybody run! Well, can't win them all.
Come on, get on up.
Let me ask you something. Do you think we're a good team?
Of course. Into a zoo. I just wish I knew what we had to do to prove it to everyone else. We checked the perimeter, snoop a little.
Okay, so that was the first thing I wanted to point out. You notice how Nick is not asking, do you love me or anything like that. He's asking her if she thinks if they make a good team or not. And she is replying with, yes, I just wish I knew what we had to do to prove it to everyone else. And this is kind of what I've been kind of highlighting a lot of recently. And this is the fact that this film focuses a lot on Nick and Judy trying to prove themselves to everyone else, while, in my opinion, not really having to. Nick and Judy proved themselves in the first movie to being way better than any other cop because they solved a case that had been that, as Nick had put it in the film, they had been trying to crack for weeks. They solved it in 2 days, and however long it took. Well, 2 days plus whatever break they took, and then whatever. But the point is, they solved it while everyone else was twiddling their fingers. So it blows my mind how people are trying to associate this with, oh my gosh, they're going to be a couple. And we'll get to that in a second.
No snake has set foot in Zootopia in forever.
There's a snake! Stop in the name of the law!
Snakes aren't the bad guys. I have to set things right. And when I do, my family will finally be able to come home.
Yes, he has two fangs here. Oh,
Hops and Wiles.
right to the back of the head. That hurts.
On the ground!
Help me save them!
On the ground.
Partner meeting.
You notice how he's constantly saying partner meeting, not couples meeting?
Fox and that rabbit.
Do you know how many mayors they've already destroyed?
1, 2. I got up to 2.
All right, Carrots, any idea where you want to start?
If you want to find you a reptile, I am your gal.
I like her already. I love that accent.
Zootopia has a secret reptile population. Just let me handle the locals. Hey, bub.
Hey, bub.
Hey, bub.
Hey, bub. Hey, bub, bub.
Hey, bub. Bubby, bub.
Hey, bub. Hey, bub. Hey, ho.
Hey, bub, bub. Seen a snake?
Nope.
Wait, cannonball!
Keep the music playing. Come on, get on up. We're wild and we can't be
I
tamed.
got eyes on them. In pursuit.
Oh, wow. He's got eyes. Dear God, the shockwave. And that was the thing I wanted to highlight. All right, so if we're basing everything on this one scene right here. All right, everybody, when this one picture came out, immediately people started freaking out that Nick was confessing his feelings to Judy and they were going to do yada, yada, yada. I'm watching this trailer and I've watched the first film. I've watched all the other trailers. I feel like this is more of them having one of those conversations, kind of like we had in the first film with Judy apologizing to Nick. And I get that feeling that's kind of what that's going to be, not some confession of love like everybody seems to think it's going to be. And why did the trailer stop? And it's broken. I don't know what I did. I broke something. Help!
Dying for.
There we go. Okay, so let me go back to it. It broke something. I don't know what it broke.
We have to solve the case.
It's not.
Okay, so this is another thing. Judy's talking about, and she's very, very focused on solving the case. Okay, very, very focused. Nick's thing is, and this is kind of where I'm getting that scene from. Nick is like, yes, but it's not worth dying for.
Worth dying for.
Here it goes again.
Judy.
I keep breaking things.
I love you!
When you two save the city.
Okay, it's breaking it so bad right now. I don't know what to do anymore. All right, let's go back here.
Judy.
Nick! Good luck! I love you!
When you two save the city, maybe everyone will see reptiles ain't that different.
Oh, I cannot wait for that film. Now, the next one is going to be the one where it's going to draw a lot of controversy. And this is what I commented on, as a matter of fact. Oh, wow. Okay. So, before we get into the video, matter of fact, actually, um, I'm going to this person, and I'm not hating on this person, but this person did agitate me a lot. They're trying to find a connection again to making Nick and Judy a couple. And they're trying to say that Jared Bush has confirmed it. And we're going to talk about that in a
Whether
second.
Pops is officially gonna be a canon or not, that's a big question, and luckily, Jared
Also, can
Bush
we talk about how
himself
he
has
sounds
announced a
very,
really
very
surprising cameo.
Indian or
That
Asian
one
something?
character who will make your Nick Hobbs an official
All
canon.
right, all right, all right. See, all right. Zootopia directors. No, everyone has opinions about Nick and Wild. It's just undeniable chemistry. Okay, undeniable chemistry. Let's go through that for a second. All right, let's be the first one to, or let me kind of go through this. All right, undeniable chemistry can work with a friendship as much as it can a relationship between two people becoming a couple. All right, there's a such thing. Can I have which much midnight? I don't care. Okay, thank you. It can have just as much of a meaning when it comes to friendship because there are friends out there, male and female, that would die for one another. They would take care of one another. All right. And this is the thing that I think a lot of people are looking over. It's not just I'm not getting rage baited. I'm getting slightly perturbed and pissed off, yes, but not rage baited. I've kind of, I've always had this opinion. I will be the first one to admit when the film first came out, I was one of those people that's like, oh my gosh, Nick and Judy make such a cute couple. Tell me you had corn dogs down on the refrigerator. I told you I had 3 or 4. I know that you're cooking the last 6 for me. I told you I had, or at least I thought I did. No, you said you were going to eat the rest of your corn dogs. I assumed you meant what was in the box. Oops. You have them for later. Or give them to Jesse if he wants them. But, undeniable chemistry can mean 2 different things, and I think that people are trying way too
Yes,
hard to
everything is
connect
gonna
it.
be real in this quick video, so you hit the like button, and I'm your host Aryan with a big surprise from Zootopia 2. So, Jared Bush is officially announcing a name of a new character who is gonna play a key role in the chemistry of your Nick and Judy.
All right, notice he's saying a key role in the chemistry, not in the formation of a couple
The
or
trailer
anything.
itself is revealing so many moments from this duo, and we can see how this is giving a vibe that we might see a new
How would you? Okay, yes, I'm rage baiting. How is it giving a vibe of a new Disney couple? Let's see. The first trailer showed Judy punching Nick when he mentioned how he did her, or how she did her ears horribly. You hear in the trailer how Nick and Judy are talking about the case, not their relationship that people seem to constantly want to think is going to happen. You don't hear anything having anything to do with these 2 characters becoming a couple
Disney couple
ever.
by the end. While giving an interview to Collider, Jared Bush is using the name of Dr. Fuzz, who is looking like a therapist.
The next all right, we're gonna read this. The newest major character is probably Dr. Fuzzby. Um, what's her face? As the therapy animal, I can't imagine this movie without the character in it. What she does for the Nick and Judy story is so delicious. For me, it's probably her. Okay, see, we watched the first trailer. I've watched the second trailer now too. Dr. Fuzzby pointed out that Nick and Judy's partnership was dysfunctional. And in that, it pointed out to Nick and Judy, who probably did not realize it, that they were both dysfunctional. Okay? Zootopia 2 directors Jared Bush and Baron Howard are proud of what they are able to do with the sequel. I can't give anything away. Okay, guys? This to me does not scream that they are hooking them up. It screams to me that it has brought attention to Nick and Judy that their partnership is not as good as they thought it was and they need to fix some things.
therapist and is gonna be the only character to bring Nick and Judy together in a really delicious way. Now, why I'm taking it as an official hint for Nick Hobbs? That's because Jared is also saying
The trick of this film is delivering on people's expectations, but also pushing something where people go, "Oh man, I don't know what that was going to happen." That feels great. Okay, let's be honest, all right? I'm expecting one of two things out of this film, all right? One, Nick and Judy don't become a couple and they solve the case and they prove themselves or whatever. Or two, they screw it up completely, annihilate the possibility of more than just three films, and they hook Nick and Judy up and completely screw up the possibility of more films, making it completely predictable. And I'll explain why I say that in a little bit.
that the audience will finally see what they were expecting and had no idea that it's gonna happen for real. Yes, I agree that it can have some different meanings, but
Hold on
you
a
should
second.
know that Disney is off it's gonna happen.
We obviously already love Nick and Judy, and clearly we're going to love Gary. Apart from those characters, what do you think is going to be? What do you think, or who do you think has the best storyline? It's got to be Window. You notice how he's only reading this part. What did you tell you? What did they tell you that you absolutely could not do at any sequel? They don't know, or they didn't know we were working on Moana 2 and Zootopia 2. They sat me down and said, just don't do a sequel. And I was like, we're doing both of them. They went, what? But then the best part is that you have to win them over. That was really fun thing. I think it's the fun thing. I can't help that. Oh, and it's something to do with the computer. I am an alien. Ah. All right. When Moana 2 came out, and I think this one is something they're really looking forward to. It's really easy for people to say, why tell that story? We love it. We love this world. We love hanging out with these characters. We love continuing their journey. Nick and Judy is such a fun pairing. Yes, as friends. Why, what, what can we do with them and how can that feel like something that feels very organic, but hopefully also surprises people.
Happen for real. Yes, I agree that it can have some different meanings, but you should know that Disney is officially dropping a soft toy which is revealing Nick Hobbs as a couple.
Okay, so the toy that he's talking about is apparently hold on. Let me look it up. Let me see if I can find it. Judy stuffed toy. Let's see if we can find it. Oh, that's horrendously looking. Uh, hold on. Let's see. See if we can find it. These are just creeping me out. They're not helping at all. The blush, though, that's a little. I like that one. That one's cool. Yeah, okay, so I'm not seeing anything yet, but we'll check later. Obviously, I will be the one that checks. But he's talking about that they're holding a heart.
Well, this new comment is confirming exactly what the Nick Hobbs fans were looking for, right? Secondly, he's also saying that Zootopia 2 will take place only a week after the events of the first.
Okay, so this is where I completely say Zootopia 2 cannot hook Nick and Judy up. Of course, his argument does kind of make
So,
sense
nothing
too.
much has happened thus far, and you'll be watching the whole chemistry building from the scratch to the final confession in the
Yes, from
sequel
the
itself.
scratch.
So, I guess Nick Hobbs is almost confirmed, and now you tell me if you were the part of this ship or not. Hit subscribe as I brings you so many.
Okay, so he's talking about he's talking about how we're getting the film a week after. All right, people are wanting to see Nick and Judy become a couple, and he's talking about there's a possibility, and I don't deny that this is a possibility. And this is if this is how they do it by making the whole film about them surprisingly, um, somehow managing to bring Nick and Judy together. okay, I can deal with it, but it's not something I still agree with. But, and I'll explain why. But I don't like it. Now, this is the comment I said. I said the only issue I see with you using supposed action or actual things that the director has said, you can take this as he's saying that that their chemistry will grow better as friends as well, which is what it has actually said that their chemistry will grow and become better. Does not That does not immediately mean that they are going to make Nick and Judy a couple. And besides, in order for this to happen, they would have to have the support of everyone, and not everyone wants this, especially not me. I've watched the first film and I've seen Nick and Judy have the chemistry to remain great friends and will not be able to be separated, but that does not mean that they have the chemistry to become a couple. My hopes are that they won't make this happen because it will ruin the films and it will ruin the ability for them to continue a franchise that could easily make 5 or 6 different films if they keep Nick and Judy as friends. If they make them a couple, you might see 3 or 4, and that would be the end of it. All right? And this is what this person put. Your point of view gave a new look to me too. And yes, I agree. Also, thanks for watching, of course. Yeah. But there's I agree with this person. I'm not part of this ship of Nick and Judy. I just see them as good friends, and I just hope that they stay good friends in this movie too. I know they have good chemistry, but you can have good chemistry and just be friends. I know Nick in the last film asked Judy if he loves him, if she loves him, and she says she does, but you can love someone as a friend. I agree. I completely agree with that statement. Now, that was kind of the end of my rant, and yes, I will show you guys my lovely profile picture that I have. It's staying up, and this is kind of my tribute to Zootopia 2. Um, this film or this background is staying up until Zootopia 2 releases, and then it'll go back to my old background, of which, if I can find it, I can show you guys. Let's see, I had one set up. It'll probably go back to this one. This is the old background for my computer, but until the film comes out, that's the background that we're sticking with because the fact that it's my tribute to the movie. I've been waiting on this movie for 9 years. But guys, my thing is everybody is so focused on making Nick and Judy a couple, but they're not at all looking at the first film and watching their development. I watched the film multiple times. That's what changed my mind. It wasn't the abortion comic that I've talked about and joked about that changed my mind. It was watching the film, seeing how they interacted with one another that changed my mind. When you first see Nick, Judy is automatically judging him because he's a fox. You see her getting ready to get the fox spray out, getting ready to get after him. Okay. And she sees that he's just trying to buy the jumbo pop, so she buys the jumbo pop for him and helps him get it. And then later on, she feels betrayed by him because she finds out that he's selling it, making little pops and selling them that way. But then we go and you see her basically force Nick to help her, and you see their character develop into that point on the escalator where Nick tells her his story, and immediately Judy realizes that Nick is not as bad as she thinks he is. He just pretends to be because that's what everybody has, as he put it. If the world is going to see you as nothing but shifty and untrustworthy, there's no need to try and be something else. And that is what, for me, I think that is what intertwined these two becoming friends. Because Judy realized that even she was being that stereotypical person and she didn't like it. She became the only person that truly trusted Nick. There was a post that I saw on YouTube the other day where people were talking about that Nick kept the pen because the fact that he wanted to see if Judy was going to come back and yada yada yada. And it was a proof of love and all this bull. And I was over here dying because it's like, like the amount of people that are trying to scrounge through like this barrel of stuff that doesn't put anything together. It's like you're gluing it together when it's not supposed to go there, and that's what these people are doing. Guys, I have kept up with this stuff thanks to Nick, who may or may not still be here. I've kept up with everything. I've seen these characters. Judy is my favorite character. She is by far my favorite. Nick, I couldn't care less what happened to him. But for Judy, Judy started out with the story, and yes, I'm aware the story was originally supposed to be about Nick, but they changed it to being about Judy. I saw these two. They grew great as friends, not as a couple. And at the end of the film, and I think this is what sparked a lot of the shipping, Nick asks Judy, or says, "You know you love me." Judy looks at him playfully. "Do I know that?" "Yes, yes, I do." In a joking friendship manner because of what he had just done to him, which is slamming the brakes, putting the jumbo pop in his eye. Okay? Friends will play tricks on one another. Friends will joke about it. They will say, "You know you love me." "Yes, yes, I do." They will say things like that. They will do things like that. You don't have to be a couple in order to do that. My message, more or less, to Disney and to anyone else that's trying way too hard to ship these two characters, you don't need them together in order for them to be a great partnership. They can remain as friends. They can continue. And I've had an idea, and I would gladly voice it if I was trying to make this thing, or if I wasn't trying to make this thing less than 30 minutes, which that's not going to work, I don't think. And the whole idea was making Nick and Judy just not be a couple. They go undercover as a couple. This is the compromise that Jared gave us. Okay? I believe that this film is going to stick with the idea of keeping Nick and Judy as a couple. Now, here's why I say that. All right, we've watched Moana 2. I have. I've watched the first one. I've watched the second one. In Moana, we see the same thing happen. Two characters hate each other when they first meet. They grow to love one another and care about one another and genuinely don't want anything to happen to one another. Second film comes out. It's the same thing. They're really good friends. They don't see each other as anything other than friends. Matter of fact, Maui does his best to keep Moana out of whatever he's dealing with. I want to see the same thing happen with Zootopia too. I want to see two great friends that are inseparable continue on their journey. I want to see at least 6 or 7 films come out of this Zootopia universe, and I think it could happen if they kept them as friends. You put them as a couple, you're going to have the first film where they don't like each other and they become friends. You have the second one where they ultimately become the couple. And then you have the third film where they most likely have a child. And then the fourth film is most likely the child gets kidnapped by the bad guy. They're trying to get the child back. End of story. They live happily ever after. Whereas you keep them as friends, you can have all kind of different, like, villains. You can have all kind of different comebacks of villains, like Bellwether. I would love to see her come back with a bigger and better plan, and Nick and Judy are the only ones that can stop her. Adding maybe some different characters that, I'd love to see a wolf not get stereotyped as a bad guy and maybe help Nick and Judy out through the journey. I would love to see that. There are so many things that you can do while keeping Nick and Judy as just friends. Okay? Now, here's a compromise that I think could work also, but I still don't agree with it. Why not make Nick and Judy a couple off duty? But we don't know it. There's hints towards it, but we don't know it. But while they're at work, they are not a couple. They are partners. I don't like that idea because the fact it's still shipping them. I don't like it. It doesn't work. It would still lead to something happening. It would still lead to only having a few films. I think keeping Nick and Judy as friends would end up having more films, therefore, the ability to have more ideas. And if they start running out of ideas, and this is the only time I will say that I agree with this, if they start running out of ideas, then make Nick and Judy a couple and end the franchise on 2 or 3 other films. And then you can end it and I'll be happy with it. I won't watch those 2 or 3 other films most likely, but it would be a better thing than just slapping them together like freaking slapping glue onto some wood glue onto 2 pieces of wood and hoping that it sticks. You know, there's too many films that uh, Disney has made where the couples don't stick together. Elemental, a Pixar movie, from what I understand, those 2 characters didn't stick together. Wreck-It Ralph, that's another perfect example. What happened at the end of the second movie on that? They separated. They went their own ways. I don't want that. I don't want that for Nick and Judy. I hate Nick. I will be the first one to tell you. I hate Nick. I don't like him. I didn't like his personality in the first one. It sucked. He was always witty. He was an ass. But, that was just his character. It was his way of coping and hiding who he truly was. And I understood that. That's why I've kind of gotten to like him a little bit. But again, I think there's a possibility to make this film good if you don't hook them together. But anyway, I hope everybody has a lovely day, and I hope that you guys don't hate me for having a 31-minute rant about this. But I hope everybody has a lovely day, and remember, you mess with the wolf, you get the fang.